So let's talk about what does this in-season tournament win mean for the league. You know, I want to talk about this in-season tournament. It just ended. It just wrapped up, and honestly, it's going to be an award that is going to be counted as a league award. We cannot deny that, and we cannot deny the fact that this in-season tournament is going to be something that we're going to be talking about eventually as a merit of greatness. And I know that a lot of people don't agree with that, or that a lot of people don't even want to consider that option. But it is true. I'm sorry, but the in-season tournament is a tournament in the middle of the season, and whoever wins this tournament will be able to have some type of, bragging rights. This is because the tournament, or at least from the one season that we've seen it in place, was extremely competitive. Teams actually cared. Teams actually went out there and tried. And they went out there to win, and they did, or they lost. But in the end, everyone gave it their all. The Lakers winning it was obviously controversial, as people do always have a lot of things to say about them, their team, you know, the way that they run themselves, etc. But honestly, if we're being 1,000% honest with ourselves, we can really say that this in-season tournament is going to mean something. Now, what does it mean? How much does it mean? That we will find out. But for right now, it is very important to consider this in-season tournament as something serious, important, and good that we need to, take into consideration when talking about the NBA. LeBron winning it is kind of cool. It's very cool actually because as we all know, LeBron is like the regular season GOAT of all time. He's the best definitely regular season player. Carrying multiple bad teams to like 60 and 50 wins, going multiple 1 seeds, multiple 2 seeds, multiple 3 seeds, and just being at the top of his conference, which was the Eastern Conference, and then the Western Conference for most of his career. I mean, an in-season tournament, everyone jokes about it, but if this would have been going on for all of NBA history, LeBron would have probably had like 9 in-season tournament wins, been the undisputed in-season tournament GOAT. And I'm just saying that obviously as more of a joke, but it is a truth that we have to acknowledge. Now, when we look at this in-season tournament now, and when we look at what is it going to mean for the league, in my opinion, it's just going to mean another, way of acknowledging what teams were having a great season that season and who were the best teams in the regular season. Because the Lakers, this season, they saw the tournament and they put themselves in a winning platform with winning defense, and they did. And I want to talk about LeBron too. LeBron was amazing in this tournament. And honestly, I do feel like this in-season tournament is going to help his career. Him getting the first one is obviously very important, as he is LeBron James, and he's been the best regular season player for his entire career. After everything he's done, it's only right that he is the one who gets the first trophy, even though, there was no guarantee as to if we were going to be able to see him get that first trophy or not. Apart from that, he and his team won, which also makes them, have some bragging rights in the future. And there was this quote that LeBron said, which interested me a lot, which is, it doesn't matter how many you have, but you can't be the first to do something again. It was something along those lines of you can't be the first to do something again. And that's true. LeBron James is the first player to win the in-season tournament MVP. Anthony Davis is the first player, to win the in-season tournament, right? As the starting center, if that's what you want to say. But they're first in every single metric that you want to talk about in-season tournament. They are first, and unless this was just something that they're going to bring in for one season and then take out, or that it's going to be an experiment, if this is actually a staple for the league, I mean, it's obviously going to be hard to, calculate the metric of this award because none of the other greats in NBA histories have had this type of awards to make themselves be presentable in this way. But obviously, we will be looking at the in-season tournament as an important part of the NBA season, as it's going to encapsulate a lot of the factors which come at play. With all of this, we can see that this tournament is actually for the good of the NBA. I do believe that, LeBron and the Lakers winning is just a testament to the fact that they play really hard, they play really well, and they know how to, play the game the right way. I also believe that there was a push to make this tournament competitive and to make this tournament worth it. And in my opinion, I do believe that it worked. It shouldn't be a real surprise that in a tournament of this caliber, the best players of all time are gonna be playing. Giannis was playing, Tatum was playing, and these are guys who, even if they're young, they have a lot to prove, and they're very good in their youth. Halliburton, a young up and comer, looking like the face of the league right now, got to go and beat teams which were much better, much more experienced than he was. I feel like this tournament showed who actually cared, the teams and how they were ready, the thought put behind the coaching adjustments that were made in these games. And in my opinion, the Lakers in the end just had the better game plan and the better players. With all this being said, LeBron is the MVP. He did it. I find it very good that even if he never wins another championship and he just plays the rest of his days, competing and trying getting into the playoffs and doing what he does, I do believe that winning this tournament was an important thing for him. It's very recognized that LeBron is one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time. And this, in-season tournament was a chance for him to really prove, that he has this reign over the NBA, dominating for 21 seasons and doing everything that you could do in the NBA, except for winning maybe the Defensive Player of the Year, in which there's an argument that he was robbed. LeBron has been really showing that he is the representative and the face of the league, even at the ripe age of 38. Apart from all this, I do want to say that LeBron, the Pacers, and all of these teams had a great tournament. Shout out to the Jazz, shout out to the Suns, shout out to the Pelicans, shout out to the Kings, shout out to the Bucks. Shout out to every single team, Boston, Milwaukee. And honestly, when we really look at it, I feel like we can check the in-season tournament as a success. It's a tournament which made, the league look good. It brought excitement and competitiveness. In December, it brought a bunch of teams together to be able to play. It was actually competitive, and a lot of teams wanted to win. And it was made for great regular season games, which we could see in a part of the year that normally doesn't have this many games. I feel like, honestly, this in-season tournament has provided for us a great showing of skill, effort, and what the NBA should be. Apart from all of this, we could see that there was a clear hunger, especially in the younger teams, to really win this tournament, to prove a point, and to get the younger guys some money. I also feel like, and it's very important to me, the fact that this is going to help these end of the bench guys. The top two teams get $500K for each player. $500K each player on a regular contract gets from a team, and the players on two-way contracts get half, right, which would be $250K. For the Pacers, they get $200K per player, and they get $100K per two-way player. In my opinion, this is very important, as the younger guys get to make money, get to have money, and get to really reap the benefits. Because especially if you're not a guy who's really trying to get re-signed always, it's gonna be harder for you to make all that money. But yeah, I love this in-season tournament, and I'm glad it happened.